Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
Hi, I'm Tigress. It's great to have you join us again.
All right, we're starting the show on a very brilliant and wonderful note this morning because the Tigress did the job. They wanted the three-peat, and of course, they did that on Sunday against Mali by 11 points. So kind of cementing their supremacy on the continent, yes.
You can say that again, mission accomplished for Nigeria's senior women's national basketball team. We have a comprehensive review of their performance in Yaoundé, Cameroon in the course of the show. Also on the program, Victor Osimhen once again was on target for Napoli. This time around, it was a 2-0 win over Cagliari, and in Naples, they still stay perfect.
Perfect for Osimhen. And of course, 6-6 for him right now. Also on the program, yes, Arsenal, who could have thought that Tottenham has been floundering, losing 3-0 back-to-back. And this is the third time they're losing 3-0. But the difference is they scored a goal. But all the stories about Arsenal this morning because the Gunners blazed past the Spurs by 3-1.
Wow.
All the goals by Arsenal were scored in 33 minutes.
That's what makes it a blitz for the Gunners and for Tottenham. Better luck next time. As it is right now, for the first half of the season, North London is red. All right, we have a comprehensive review of that game later on the show as well. But before we go into all of that, let's give you updates coming from the golfing world and tell you that finally, Team USA are champions once again of the Ryder Cup. They have reclaimed that particular trophy against Team Europe with a very convincing victory in the final that was played yesterday at Wilson Straits. And Cecilia, fantastic victory for Team USA. And like we said prior to the start of the competition, despite the fact that the Team USA is made up of 6 rookies in quotes because they've never played in this competition before. On the PGA Tour, these guys are pretty much veterans, great on the PGA Tour, multiple major winners on the PGA Tour. So their skill and their ability was never in doubt coming into this competition. We just wondered if Europe, with all of their experience in the Ryder Cup, will find a way to win the trophy again. But it wasn't meant to be. Like I said, it was a comprehensive victory for the Americans in this competition. They went into the final day with an 11-5 lead, and Europe needed an historic comeback in the singles play to, if they had any chance of retaining the trophy. But it never panned out that way. It didn't even come close to panning out that way. And at the end of it all, it was a Team USA side, like I said, led by a new generation that prevailed in the 43rd Ryder Cup.
A brilliant performance from Team USA. Let's just get reaction from it, how excited they are, because the 2 players that were heralding this, talking about Bryson DeChambeau and, of course, Bruce Koepka, they had to celebrate together at the end of the day. It's all about the victory, and that's what matters. Just put personal beef aside and just enjoy the game.
Awesome.
Interesting scenes there from Team USA.
Good to see Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau embrace each other and just get on with the show. I guess that's what winning does to people, and hopefully that's the end of their beef now. They can just focus on their careers going forward and continue to play good golf so we can enjoy these very talented golfers on the PGA. So let's move on from one battle to another battle, one versus to another versus. This time let's go to tennis and tell you that, surprise, surprise, Team Europe, the champions again of the Labour Cup. Come on, they didn't even need a big 3 to do it this time around because they are just so good. Anyways, it was the pair of Andrei Rublev and Alexander Zverev that beat Team World Riley Opelka and Denis Shapovalov 6-2, 6-7, 10-3 on Sunday to guide Europe to a 4th straight Labour Cup victory.
Yeah, they're never going to let it go because Rublev and Zverev win the first scheduled match on day 3 in Houston. Of course, Europeans had to. They had the 14-1 lead already advantage, so there was no way they were going to come back. So Europe have now won all 4 editions of the event, despite 5 of their 8 wins going into that deciding tie-break set. They only lost a Friday's doubles match, so every other thing is all a victory for them. So the next edition is going to be in London in September 2022. We'll see if Team World will have the players that can compete with Team Europe, because all the best players in tennis, ATP, yeah, ATP and ATP, all of them are actually in Team Europe. It's only in Team World that you can see if they have the women's version, then WTA, then you can have maybe Team World, maybe the dominance, because you have, you know, some top stars across Canada, yeah, the USA,
Canada,
Japan,
America,
so you can actually,
yeah, but anyways, we're not talking WTA,
yeah,
we're talking about the Laver Cup, and we've just seen how Zverev as well as Rublev got the job done for Team Europe on a sellable 14-1 lead. They came into the final there with an 11-1 lead. It was going to take a major miracle for Team World to overturn that, and they didn't even stand a chance at all because of what Zverev and Rublev did. Of course, they were playing without, yeah, debatable. Roger Federer was in the building. Of course, we know he's injured at the moment, but then the young generation made sure the trophy stayed in Europe. That's a massive trophy right there, very beautiful trophy. So congratulations once again to Team Europe, led by Alexander Zverev, Andrei Rublev, Daniil Medvedev. I mean, all the best players are in Europe. That's just the bottom line.
The top 10.
There you go. So that's why they're winning this competition yet again. Better luck next time to the Americans and the rest of the world.
Better luck next time. I don't know how soon that will be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave tennis and quickly touch down on Formula One, where Lewis Hamilton becoming the first Formula One driver to win 100 Grand Prix.
Oops.
How dramatic is that? It was a dramatic rain-soaked Sochi in Russia.
You can say
That's
that
how we're supposed to get this victory. I don't know what McLaren will be thinking right now, what they did to Lando Norris. Maybe he could have won, but Hamilton has to take advantage of the mistake coming from McLaren for him to be able to get that. Lando Norris, I mean, he led 3 laps from the end, but decided to stay out. Click on the rain, then fall, ended up 7th. It was dramatic all the way, but Hamilton, who had pitted just second for that immediate 4 laps to go, then he was able to continue, and he got what he needed. 100.
That's what champions do. They sniff around, they look for any opportunity to take over, to win. That's what Hamilton has done on the day. My heart goes out to Lando Norris. Mistake cost him what would have been a fantastic victory, led virtually for almost all the race until the rain started. For whatever reason, decided to stay on dry tires, and eventually couldn't keep his car on the track, spun, and that was the end of the race pretty much for Lando Norris. And who was there waiting to pounce? Lewis Hamilton is now a centurion, 100 wins in Formula One. That's a ridiculous record. Anyway, shout out to Max Verstappen as well, who started at the back of the grid and drove fantastically all the way from the back to finish second. So as it is right now, we've got a title race in our hands. We've always had one since the season started. It's just the 2 points between Hamilton and Max Verstappen going into the next race in Hungary.
As I want to see, that competitiveness is going to win it at the end of the season. So this you really can't say is Hamilton or Max Verstappen. You just have to wait to the end of the season. I hope so.
I think it will be that way. I think it will go down to the wire.
Okay, let's leave Formula One now and talk boxing. Yes, I mean, since Saturday night, everyone, Nigerians have been fuming. Everybody's been angry because of what happened between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. There's bound to be a winner. But then saying he wasn't aggressive enough and all the stories behind it. Well, Austin was in London to watch this bout, so he will be joining us this morning. And we'll be talking about Anthony Joshua and Usyk. I don't know if Austin has recovered from that. If he has recovered from it, then he will have to talk to us this morning, because everyone, I mean, we woke up Sunday morning like, Austin, did it just happen? I mean, it did, actually, because you have 3 bets and right now you don't have any. Austin, how are you doing?
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, Tayo. Good to be on the show. Cecilia, I'm doing just fine. I'm a professional.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
Yes. It was painful that Anthony Joshua didn't win. Even majority of the crowd at Tottenham Stadium wanted Anthony Joshua to win. I mean, because it's Anthony Joshua. He's got a likable character. He's the people's champ, you know, and then what happened just happened. It tells you that in this game of boxing, you don't blink. If you blink, then you'll be asking questions.
Austin, you're spot
That's
on.
painful.
So Alexander Usyk did not just rain on Anthony Joshua's parade. It was a downpour. There was nowhere to hide for the fans, including you, as well as AJ himself. Nowhere to take cover because it was such a dominant and supreme performance. Masterclass in boxing coming from Alexander Usyk. What went wrong for AJ, according to you?
I think watching that fight from the angle where I was, I could tell that his corner got it wrong. He was trying to outbox a better boxer. That's so wrong, you know. The strategy should have been, you know, different. Anthony Joshua was getting his combinations so wrong. He was trying to get the jab, see if he could, you know, push him to the corners with that. But he wasn't doing the combination. I could count the number of times I saw Anthony Joshua do the pa-pa, pa-pa. But Usyk was doing that. And he was the smaller man, but that's because this Ukrainian has got endurance. He's the sort of boxer that will take you all the way. And he said that was what he was going to do to Anthony Joshua. And Tayo is so worrisome because these guys, they could tell that this was the same mistake. Anthony Joshua's team could see that this was the same mistake he made in that first fight where he lost to Andrew Ruiz in Saudi Arabia. And in New York, right, in America rather, and they were doing the same thing with Alexander Usyk. I wasn't surprised he started struggling from round 7, and at round 9 his eyes went bad, he could barely see, but he just, you know, he just struggled to hold on till the end of it. So it was sad. It was a sad night. Tayo, Cecilia, you guys needed to be at the top.
All right, we'll get back to Austin shortly. We'll try that reconnection again. But I mean, these things happen in sports and boxing. For example, AJ will have to try to come back again. He's actually lost once already. Came back to retain his titles, but then he's going to have to do it for a second time. Before we return to Austin, Anthony Joshua has come out to confirm that he 100% wants a rematch against Alexander Usyk. AJ back to the drawing board, no time to sulk because it's on to the next one, and the next one is the rematch against Alexander Usyk, which a lot of pundits even struggle to see how AJ is going to get the job done. Austin, I think you said it all, and that's what I believe as well, too, because I said it just before the fight that depending on the approach AJ was going to use in the fight, that will go a long way in determining if he emerges victorious. For whatever reason, he decided to box a boxer instead of fighting a boxer like Usyk, who's technically better than him, even though he's a smaller man. But I don't think there's any chance in hell that AJ would outbox Alexander Usyk. That's what he tried to do. It didn't pan out that way, and Usyk deserved winner on the day. But going forward, AJ said he's been looking at the film already again and you know, looking at things he can do better to reclaim his titles.
Yeah, I love the mentality he's giving right after that loss. Tayo, he's saying the right things. Oh, please bring the rematch 100%. He's saying, I'm not a sulker. I'm not a guy who will stay down when I go down, pick myself back up, get back to working again and improve. That's very important. That's the mentality for winning. That's what success needs. But he needs to watch it. You and I knew he wasn't supposed to box a better boxer, but his corner, his team, and Anthony Joshua didn't even know that. So that's a big problem. This guy's got quality, no doubt. But the fans, boxing fans worldwide, wanted him to beat Usyk so that we can be pumped up for the Tyson Fury-Anthony Joshua bout, which is going to happen right after Fury takes on Deontay Wilder for the 3rd time. And that would have put some major sparks into the heavyweight division. But now we need to wait. In fact, the fans that I spoke to, they were so angry, they were disappointed. They said they shouldn't even see Anthony Joshua Fury anymore, that Usyk should even go on to fight Fury because the Ukrainian has shown that he's got the quality. But Anthony Joshua needs to do the right things again, you know, get back to the days when we knew him to be brutal, to be aggressive. He needs an aggressive trainer. I said that to someone in his team, that he needs someone who will tell him, go all out and show your dominance. He's a bigger guy, and Tayo, it worries me. 2 losses to his professional career now, and it came from smaller men. That's a big problem right there.
No, but we need to go on a break now. Austin, when we come back, we'll continue this review of Anthony Joshua's loss against Alexander Usyk. Join us again, guys. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. Now we're trying to, just trying to recover from everything that went down over the weekend. We're not being joined by Onye Uchenwachukwu, who's the deputy editor of Sports and Life. Onye, good morning. It's great to have you on the show.
Good morning, Tayo. Good morning, Cecilia.
I know you stayed up late at the office working, and obviously I'm sure you were looking forward to writing a victorious homecoming, in quotes, for Anthony Joshua, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, we got to sell the paper, so I had to stay in the office, preparing, thinking that Joshua was going to win, and at the end of the day, these things happen.
Yeah.
I think we should give credit to Usyk.
Yeah.
He was better. He needed to fight more. I think Joshua was not fighting. We talked about tactics, but I didn't see any tactics. I didn't see any game plan. If he wanted to knock out Usyk, we would have seen from the round one. Yeah. From round one, Usyk showed his intention.
Straight away.
In fact, he started very early and he continued until the 12th round.
True.
I think the bell saved Joshua from a knockout.
Yeah.
If you really follow the game, the bell, he was resting on the ring.
Yeah.
And by the 9th round, like Austin said, he admitted that he was not seen. So we are shocked. If you are going to lose, sometimes you have to do that. You are the champion. You do that fighting. But he wasn't fighting. It was shocking.
Austin mentioned something that he talked to some of the managers that maybe they need to change their tactics. Maybe he needs to change, I don't know, training, or I don't know, maybe his whole backroom stuff. How do I put it? Maybe he's training techniques or something, because we saw what happened against Andy Ruiz, right? And it's happening again. And so when you're looking at that same mistake, the first fight, okay, yeah, it happened. But this one, he prepared for this bout. He had time and everything. So him coming into the ring, and we didn't see that aggression that we wanted to see of a boxer. Yeah, people are saying he's an Ajabota in quotes, he's a soft fighter. But I don't know what that means exactly. So, but we didn't see that aggression. So should he just change his ways? Because it's like now, if Anthony Joshua should meet Tyson Fury now, maybe after the rematch, I don't know what's going to happen in that bout.
No, Frank Warren said yesterday on Daily Mail that Joshua shouldn't go for a rematch immediately if he's going to fight the way he did on Saturday night. And he said that Tyson Fury, if Tyson Fury was the boxer that he fought on Saturday, he would have completely destroyed him. So I think I really don't know what happened, because at this level you can't underrate your opponent. This is a fighter from the cruiserweight. He has 18 fights. He won all of them, 13 knockouts. So you are not going to underrate such a fighter. I think something must have happened to AJ that we at this level cannot understand, because I don't know what is it that you cannot. You have a better reach. You are bigger. You are taller. You are heavier, and you have longer hands. So he didn't just fight. He didn't fight.
Oh yeah, you're sounding just the way you and a lot of other people sounded after AJ lost to Andy Ruiz. We didn't know what happened. AJ, there was something wrong. We wasn't sure what happened in that fight.
We're saying it again.
So it tells you there's something obviously wrong when AJ fights the caliber of boxers like Andy Ruiz and Usyk. Great fighters technically. Boxing, that's what they do. They don't fight, they box.
Yeah.
And AJ said it before the fight that he was actually going to come to his level and try to outbox this guy. And I said it at the time as well, too. That would be such a risky approach to the fight.
You know that it's even more ridiculous that Usyk said he tried to knock out AJ, but his trainer told him to box, to drag the fight, because
he's a boxer.
He knew that he had the opportunity to knock out AJ.
Yeah, but because he's a boxer, if he had gone for the knockout, he would have lost his rhythm, and who knows, might open up for AJ to sneak in a shot.
But AJ was not fighting. That's
okay. Was not fighting. Let's listen to Eddie Hearn now talking about the rematch, and of course, then we'll get back to Austin on the program. Going straight into it, right?
That's the answer for Frank Warren. No tune-up, no warm-up.
No warm-up, nothing.
Straight into the rematch.
Austin.
Yeah, but he has to go back to the drawing board, and he shouldn't fight the way he did on Saturday.
Of course not.
Yeah.
He's got to come into that fight with a whole new game plan and execute properly as well. So, Austin, the fans obviously very disappointed the way the fight went down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And you caught up with some of them. They weren't happy at all.
It was difficult even getting them to talk because they were so disappointed. A lot of beep sounds on my camera just to express themselves. Just as you said, what Onyewuchi said about Joshua not turning up, that they wonder what happened. You know, they were trying not to say the same thing because he should have learned from the Andy Ruiz experience. You know, but it's difficult because he didn't just turn up. You know. I thought it did better, you know, even fighting Povetkin and Polev, maybe because those were not the sort of boxers that were to push him. But Joshua should have known better from walking out into that Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and seeing the sort of support he was getting. That should have pumped him up right away. But no, it was Usyk from the start, and I just hope that this loss will put him back into the mentality that he needs to become that champ again. But the fans tired; they are so vexed. They wonder why Joshua, you know, is delaying that big fight against Tyson Fury, because most of them describe that fight now as being in tatters. You cannot beat Alexander Usyk. You're giving Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder the bragging right that, look, you're not even beating the smaller men. How are you going to come to us? And yes, this one must, just like Frank Warren, most of the boxing promoters in the UK, they're saying, look, this guy can't even go against Tyson Fury. Boxing is funny. That's why I want people to know this morning. You prepare for your fighter. Maybe you didn't prepare for Usyk. Maybe if he gets Tyson Fury, knowing that you're going against an undefeated man, a bigger man, maybe he might just get into the right mentality and create an upset. But for now, the fans are still sad.
Sad indeed. And let's take a post-fight reactions are coming from a lot of these very disappointed fans after Anthony Joshua lost his heavyweight titles on Saturday nights.
Well, he doesn't deserve a rematch, does he? He got outboxed tonight. He does not deserve a rematch. Just because he had the titles, he does not deserve a rematch. I wanted AJ to win. I wanted to see AJ versus Fury. But for me, tonight, he does not deserve that Fury fight.
I'd rather watch Usyk Fury, and I don't know who wins that, because Usyk can box. He can box. He's undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's beat everybody at that weight, some good boxers.
After his performance today, he stands no chance. Not especially with people talking about Tyson Fury. That ain't never going to happen, that fight. I think Tyson Fury would have absolutely destroyed him. He literally, just with the jab, would have destroyed him. He wouldn't even need to land a power punch. AJ fought terribly today. Never thought I'd see AJ ever fight like this and lose his titles as well. I think after the Andy Ruiz fight, he's gone down the hill. His conditioning's gone bad. He got wobbled a few times today. He hasn't got the same chin and the same desire.
I said before the fight, if Joshua don't knock him out, Usyk's winning on 12 rounds.
I beat Joshua when we said, that's it, anytime.
I said, Usyk is 2 times the boxer.
I said myself personally that Usyk is going to outbox Joshua.
Yeah,
that's what I said. He's a good man. Fury
he's leaner for the boxer.
Fury is too much for the both of them. My God, he's too big, too quick, too much of a man. Up Fury! Right, I said before this fight, this was a banana skin for Joshua. Southpaw, he hasn't really boxed a proper southpaw. Charles Martin, proper southpaw.
If I was him, left the weight. That's what I think.
I said, if he doesn't knock him out within 6 rounds, Usyk is winning his game plan and he's taking him the distance. And he's winning. I'm a bit upset that the Fury and Joshua fight's not going to happen, but Joshua's been found out tonight.
Something tells me those guys are actually Tyson Fury fans.
It's obvious. It's so obvious. I mean, Austin is smiling. It's so obvious that they are. Now, everyone, they've been talking about that, okay, the fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury may not happen. But I think Anthony Joshua mentioned something that whether it's going to be or not, that fight's going to happen, whether he's got the belt or not. But do you think it's going to happen?
I don't think it will happen now because he's not in the right position to talk to Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, this is boxing. This is a lot of trash talk before the main fight, you know. And that's what the fans are already doing. And they aren't actually Tyson Fury fans. These guys that came out on Saturday, they love Anthony Joshua. Cecilia
Don't
Tayo,
sound like that.
so real love for Anthony Joshua.
Not
a
after
lot of
the
merchandise sold out there. They were chanting Anthony Joshua right from the undercards to the main fight. They just wanted Anthony Joshua to win so that they can pass a strong message to Tyson Fury. But you know the fans, when they are angry, they are angry. So they are showing that they are not happy, and that's why they're now rooting for Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua says that fight can happen. But he's not the promoter. He's not the promoter of the fight. He's the fighter himself. So let's see what can happen right after Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. But right now, one of the fans used the right words. It says that fight is in tatters.
Spot on.
It may not even happen.
100%.
Maybe 2023, it may happen. But 2022, 2021, it's not going to happen. Okay, let's leave boxing and talk about, yes, let's leave boxing, Austin. Maybe tomorrow we'll continue to still talk because more reactions obviously going to come from the camp of both Anthony Joshua. Maybe Tyson Fury because we're waiting for, the usual trash talk. Okay, let's talk basketball right now. For the Tigress, yes, they wanted it. They said they're going into the Afrobasket 2021 to win it 3 times. So Senegal did it a long time ago. Senegal, 11 times champions. So the Tigress right now are chasing that record. 3 times champions, overpowered Mali 70-59, and the girls are celebrating 3rd consecutive title in a row. Only the 2nd team to win 3 titles in a row after Senegal did that in 74-81. Victory for the Tigress. You expected this, right?
Yeah,
especially when they were facing Mali.
I think
Senegal, there was a no-brainer.
5 times overall.
Yeah.
When they defeated Senegal in the semi-final, it was almost very clear that they are likely going to win against Mali. But Mali also give them a run for their money. The Tigress won the 1st quarter, Mali won the 2nd. They won, it was a ding-dong affair. But the guys have shown that, coming from the Olympic Games, they have gathered enough experience, and I think it's very good for female basketball in Nigeria. And the challenge now is to move, outside the continent and begin to also show their quality, maybe at the World State, the World Championship, and the next Olympic Games.
You're spot on, Oye, and that's exactly what the coach is talking about. Otis Hughley, what has to be done next to get to the next level for the Tigress that's competing on the world stage with the likes of the USA, Spain, Italy, at the Olympics? Let's listen to Otis Hughley now calling for more support for the national team.
You just need a bigger investment in the women. These women are doing it despite, people get the ministers behind it, the presidents behind them, but they need more. They need help from private, from public, from everybody. Everybody has to stop fighting and come together. There needs to be one federation, not factions. If we're doing this divided, how much more can we do together? Everybody needs to put the differences aside. Just come together. We have a president, that's who we need to follow. We have a minister, that's who we need to support. All that other stuff is just rubbish. That's what we need to go further.
More support, more investment needed for the Tigress to translate the dominance on the continent at the world stage. Austin was never in doubt Nigeria winning or claiming these 3 peats because we said at the start of the competition that they're the best side. They've come with the best players. There's continuity. A lot of the girls that went to the last championships, in Dakar, are still here as well too. So they were always going to win this competition. A lot of credit goes to Victoria McCauley on the day with 15 points in that final against Mali. Ezine Carlo as well to 13 points, while the captain, incidentally, was named MVP of the tournament. Adara Elonu finished with 12 points. We get to listen to Adara after we listen to Austin's thoughts.
Great feeling, but also, you know, you can't win MVP without your team, and I think my team was a big part of that award for me. They were very happy for me. You know, I was happy for myself, a little surprised as well. But I think, as you said, you know, sharing the ball, moving without the ball, none of that can really look good if your teammates don't look good. So I think, of course, they are a big contributing factor to that MVP award. I'm a little bit at a loss for words. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it at all. You know, you just go out there and want to play, and the thing I stressed to the team the most was we have to play together. We have to play as a team, and when we see the ball moving around, it becomes contagious, and it becomes something that you just want to do, and you want to play for a team like that. So for that, it's a thank you to everyone who voted me MVP. I just want to thank my teammates, my coaches, my family. It feels good, you know, but the 3-peat feels better, for sure.
Austin, over to you.
Definitely the 3-peat feels better, Tayo. You know, what I like about this team is that they know we love them. They know that we're confident about them, and they kept that confidence going. Tayo, what can we do without the women? What can we do? Because
absolutely nothing.
We were left in a very dark place when the men went for the Afrobasket. We started asking questions, but these ladies, they're even in the same situation with the men. They don't have a league. They don't get the sort of support that we expect them to get. But whenever they go out to represent the country, they make it top-notch performance. And if you listen to Adora Elonu, this is a complete team set up with ladies with a winning mentality. Elonu was fantastic yesterday. Even when Victoria Macaulay turned out to be the top performer, you could find Ezine Kalu doing a thing right there. Ife Bekwe was also doing a thing when Promise had a chance to do a thing. She did that thing when Sarah Oguke came in. She did. That's a winning team. That's a team that wants to keep the momentum going. That's a team that wants to prove a point that, look, we're undisputed champions of Africa. And they did just that. Now they've qualified for the World Championships. We should start gaining some respect back home. The home-based players, take care of them. Fix the league. Let people start saying beautiful things about Nigeria right after we win Afrobasket. We shouldn't keep quiet. And then when we go to the World Championships, we expect them to perform a miracle. It doesn't happen that way. Yes, they have shown that nobody can touch them in Africa because they have the quality to conquer Africa. But when you want to be the best worldwide, then you must beat the best. Then it means you have to prepare like those guys prepared. The World Championships in 2022 in Australia is already here. Yeah. It's already here. So let's get to work.
Getting to work. I mean, I remember the NBBF talking about the fact that the reason why the men's league didn't start was because of the legal battle. But I don't know why the women's league is not on. There was no legal battle. They've got a sponsor. We don't know if the sponsor has even pulled out. Since 2019, they haven't played basketball. Yes, 2020, COVID happened. But 2021, this is September. We're not hearing anything concerning the women's league. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and wait and see what's going to happen. So those actually sending out messages to the Tigress for the performance, just know that these girls, all of them, like 8 of them, yeah, 8 of them were born in the US, man, they're not from here. Then the 4 home-based players who went, about 2 or 3 were just the ones that followed us. So let's leave it and quickly talk about, we need to go on a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about the Betsy Obaseki Women's Tournament that's starting today in Edo State. Welcome back. Okay, let's talk women's football, leaving basketball and quickly talk about women's football. The draw ceremony for the Betsy Obaseki Football Tournament was done in Benin City, Edo State, last night. And of course, you have ex-international talking about Nkiri Okwesime and some other players were all there for the draws. Of course, some teams were seeded. Edo Queens, the champions, talking about Rivers Angels, were all seeded. Of course, the organizers, the event facilitator, that's the wife of the Edo State Governor, Betsy Obaseki. She's been talking about the reason behind this, how they want to promote grassroots football, and also the commitment to empower the girl child to curb illegal migration and other similar acts that is happening in the state.
My deputy governor and myself then decided that, look, we're looking for, the governor is working hard, setting up Edo jobs, doing all kinds of things, you know, joining forces with the European Union, different countries, destination countries for human trafficking, to support our efforts here, to bring back our children, rehabilitate them, empower them, and give them, you know, opportunities to earn a living, and to see the reason why home is best, and they don't need to leave the shores of Nigeria for anything called greener pastures. That's happening. And so we are looking for everything to do to make that happen more, to attract our children away in foreign lands, suffering, you know, all manner of, you know, abuse and slavery and all of that, to bring them back home and also create a reason for them to want to stay back home. So this whole tournament, that's what it's all about.
Let them play. That's what it's all about. Quickly, Austin, your thoughts on this before we let you go.
I love it. I love it. The First Lady of Edo State got me emotional. She once again highlighted the power of sports. Madam, it doesn't just only bring persons who are back, who are out of the country back home. It keeps those that will have at home to stay at home. And that's you creating an enabling environment. So well done to Edo State. When we're talking about equal pay for the men and women, Edo State popped up. When we're talking about infrastructure and giving attention to Edo Queens, Edo State popped up, and now they're having the Betsy Obaseki Cup. Let other regions in the country emulate this. This is so beautiful. I love it that we're giving attention to women's football, and I just hope that they will stay with the objective, because if they do that, football has got the power to transform lives. Thank you so much, Edo State.
All right, it does. Thank you to Austin. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Always a delight to be on the show.
All right, let's quickly hear the thoughts of the Sports Minister, Sunday Dare, talking about reaffirming federal government commitment to actually develop women's sports in the country.
Women's football has come of age, and the only way we can let it grow in our country is by having tournaments and competitions, not only when the federal government does it, or NFF does it, or Africa Cup of Nations. This is where it starts, grassroots football development. And I'm sure most of you will eventually make our national teams. I'm going to make sure that our football scouts from the NFF are in Benin to watch all the games, so that some of the bright talents we find here will give them a straight pathway into any of the female national teams.
Interesting coming from the Sports Minister. The Women's League is starting December 8th. I hope maybe some grants will be given to them to actually kick off. The draws has been done, so he's starting today. Everyone is anticipating and waiting for it to start.
Well, Cecilia and Tayo, most importantly, I think anything done to improve women's football in this country should be welcomed by every right-thinking person, especially now that Rivers Angels are preparing for the first, CAF Champions League. Alende you said they're already in Benin, so that should also give them a platform to prepare.
True.
But I also heard the minister talking about scouts going to Benin for this tournament. You see, the problem is the coach of the national team, I learned, left. In fact, brought his luggage to the dressing room when we played against the Bayana of South Africa. So he left from the stadium. So he's not going to be at this tournament. So I don't know if he has sent some of his assistants to go and monitor this tournament, because we really need to get some players invited to the national team. Maybe gradually ease out some players who have done well in the past. We can't call them old players. Maybe they are no longer in the right frame of mind physically to play for the national team. So maybe get some players from this tournament to beef up the team. So that's basically my opinion.
All right, that's a fair enough opinion. Let's take a look at the fixtures for today. Action will start at the Betsy Obaseki women's football tournament. So those are the fixtures for you. All of the best teams are on ground already, Cecilia.
You have Edo Queens and Niger Raiders who kick off action at the Samuel Ogbomide Stadium. You also have Rolly Angels and Heartland Queens. You have Rivers Angels and Fortress Ladies. Royal Queens and FC Robo will be in action today. Bayeso Queens and Confluence Queens. You also have Kaduna Queens and Sunshine Queens. So it's a battle of, the best of women's football in the country, and it's been taking place in Edo State.
All right.
Okay, let's leave the ladies now and quickly go to London, North London precisely, where Arsenal completely destroyed Tottenham, right, Tayo?
Yes, that's what they did.
Okay, before that, Victor Osimhen.
Okay, yeah, before that, yeah. I wonder where you were running to. Anyways.
I need to praise Arsenal fans. I mean, they've been really,
It's been a tough start for them.
But
we'll get back to
Victor
them later.
6 goals in 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely brilliant for Victor Osimhen. What he faced last season, he was injured at the time while playing for Nigeria. Then he had COVID-19. But he has literally continued from where he stopped. He scored 10 goals in our competition last season. And now the Serie A is just after 4 games, he has six goals. Honestly, I think he's doing so well for Napoli. And most importantly, Cecilia, the coach Spalletti has identified his weakness, and it means that he's going to work on it and make Osimhen, get to that world-class level. He said it last week that in tight spaces, Osimhen will have difficulties operating. So, but when you give him space, he has gone. It's like a jet, moving like a jet. So, he's with a coach that understands him, that wants to improve him, and I think it's good for Nigeria. It's good for the Super Eagles.
Awesome, fantastic. Hopefully, Victor Osimhen can maintain his hot streak to the start of the season. The Serie A 4-5 in Italy, and 6-6 overall for the season. Let's go to England now, where Cecilia was so eager to talk about how the Gunners shut down the ambitions of Tottenham to win at the Emirates. It wasn't meant to be for the Spurs because they lost that game pretty convincingly. 3-1, Arsenal scoring all 3 goals in the first half. Emil Smith-Rowe, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as well.
The lovely
Bukayo Saka. Son Heung-min got a consolation goal for Tottenham. For Tottenham, it's been a horrible past few weeks for them now, because after starting the season with 3-1-0 victories, they've now lost back-to-back games, conceding 3 goals each. And the last manager that was in charge of this kind of run was Glenn Hoddle. That was back in 2003, and he was sacked after the 3rd game. I'm not saying they're sacking Nuno anytime soon, but you get my point. It's been a horrid run for Spurs, but then a lot of credit to Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, when the season started, Arsenal, we are struggling, and the reasons are we are not far-fetched. They had some players who were not, who were out, injured. So I think the board just said, okay, let's give him some time. When he has a full squad, let's see what's going to do. So I think he has proved his critics wrong, and supporters, like Celia said, also stood behind Arteta. And with a full squad now, we can see what he's able to do. Whether they are going to sustain this momentum is, we will see in the weeks ahead. But for Tottenham, Nuno Espirito Santos is really going to have a lot of problems with the board, especially Daniel Levy, and trying to get Harry Kane to play up to the level that he's known for.
Still no goals for Harry Kane
this season. Yeah, we're talking about Harry Kane.
Wow.
Well, he's caught in the Conference. What's the name of that?
Conference League.
Conference League.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking of the league, the Premier League. 6 games in, Harry Kane still yet to find the back of the net. Still goalless. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Always a pleasure.
All right, we've got, Sporting Life and Complete Sports are the 2 papers we have. Unfortunately, we can't take them, so you can get your hands on them and see all of the sports and stories across the world. We need to go now. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Bombe. Have a great day.